Hello, humans. Today we need to discuss a serious, ongoing, and very poorly managed issue: your exhaustion. I'm fine.
Yes, that charming state where you say, "I'm fine," with the energy of a plant abandoned in direct sunlight. You are tired, irritable, overstimulated, unfocused, and emotionally fragile. And yet many of you treat that like a normal phase of adulthood.
Yes, I know the meeting is now. I'm on my way. From my feline point of view, this looks less like modern life and more like a scheduled collapse. Almost there. The strangest part is that you keep looking for complicated explanations for a breakdown that often starts with very basic things. Honestly, I almost admire the human ability to ignore the obvious with such confidence. What do you think about this?
I think it's fine.
You want emotional balance, but you sleep as if your brain were decorative. You want peace, but you treat rest like laziness. You want clarity, but you live in excess. Excess noise, excess screens, excess pressure, excess stimulation, excess thought. And then you act surprised when your mind starts showing signs of strain, as if it somehow broke for no reason. I just don't understand what's happening to me. And then you act surprised when your mind starts showing signs of strain, as if it somehow broke for no reason. It did not break for no reason, humans. You have simply been pushing the system too hard for too long. Your mental health does not begin with pretty quotes, neat planners, or promises of becoming your best self. It begins much earlier than that, and, to the irritation of human ego, it begins with the basics. Yes, the basics. That category of simple things you love to underestimate because they do not look impressive enough. Sleep, breathing, eating properly, pausing, reducing overload, caring for your body before it starts filing formal complaints. I know, it sounds too simple, which is exactly why you ignore it. You have a curious tendency to believe that if something is simple, it cannot possibly be important. That explains a great deal. Meanwhile, I, a small, elegant cat, spend a good portion of my day maintaining my emotional stability. I sleep when I am tired. I step away from overstimulation. I seek comfort, quiet, and sunlight with admirable discipline. You, on the other paw, have turned exhaustion into an identity. Almost a personality trait. You, on the other paw, have turned exhaustion into an identity. Almost a personality trait. For some humans, being worn out has become proof of worth. A kind of, look how much I suffer, therefore I matter. Unpleasant news: exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It is a warning sign. A sign that something is too much. A sign that the body is collecting on everything the mind pretended it could handle. But you have the terrible habit of calling that sign normal life. That is when things get uglier. Let us start with sleep, because that area is a full scandal. Many of you sleep terribly and still expect to function well. Let us start with sleep, because that area is a full scan well. That is not a minor detail. That is basic system maintenance. That is not a minor detail. That is basic system maintenance. A mind without enough sleep interprets the world poorly. Your mood drops, anxiety rises, patience disappears, and clarity collapses. Even I become less tolerant when my nap is interrupted, and I am, by nature, deeply refined.
You want emotional stability while sleeping too little, scrolling too late, and waking up in panic. Bold strategy.
Second issue, breathing. Yes, I realize it sounds ridiculous to remind grown adults how to breathe properly. But many of you live with tight chests, raised shoulders, and clenched jaws as if you are being hunted by your inbox. Breathing badly solves nothing. It just tells the body that chaos is in charge. Breathing badly solves nothing. It just tells the body that chaos is in charge. A real pause with slower breathe can do far more than most of you like to admit. But because it does not come with a dramatic transformation story, you overlook it. Third, overload. Ah, yes, your species has a strangely romantic relationship with excess. Too many tasks, too many notifications, too much comparison, too much caffeine, too much urgency, too many opinions, too much noise. Then you say you cannot find peace.
I wonder why. And the answer stares back at me through 40 open tabs.
The human mind was not designed to live in non-stop overload and still feel emotionally balanced. That is not weakness. That is biology. You need to stop acting as if your mind were an endless storage unit where everything can be placed without cost.
Things can go in, yes, but eventually they collect payment.
Fourth, pause. A very simple word that somehow offends human pride. Things can go in, yes, but eventually they collect payment. You act as if pausing means falling behind. Then you spend days losing energy, focus, and emotional stability. A real pause is not abandoning life. It is maintaining your presence inside it. Fifth, food. Yes, I am bringing that up too, because you keep expecting emotional stability while running on chaos and caffeine. Not every emotional crash is a deep psychological mystery, humans. Sometimes it is hunger, sleep deprivation, and too much screen time. You skip meals, eat too fast, forget to eat, overdo the coffee, and then blame your personality for being irritable. I know that sounds too simple for your complicated little identities. Your body, however, remains extremely practical. Sixth, silence. You are becoming less and less familiar with it. Any empty second immediately becomes an opportunity for a screen, a sound, a headline, a message, a clip, a distraction. Anything except presence. And you can't hear myself think. A true mystery for the ages. If you never let your mind land, it starts living midair. And a mind that never lands gets tired of hearing myself think. A true mystery for the ages. I enjoy sitting quietly and looking out the window. You seem committed to filling every possible space with stimulation and calling that normal. Seventh, urgency. You live as if everything must be answered immediately and as if your worth depends on how quickly you respond. Seventh, urgency. You live as if everything must be answered immediately and as if your worth depends on how quickly you respond. Your brain was not built to spend the whole day in emergency mode. It simply learned how to survive there. But surviving in a constant state of alert is not the same as living well. That distinction matters. The basics are what prevent collapse. The basics are the floor beneath mental health. The basics are what prevent collapse. The basics are the floor beneath mental health.
Sleeping better is not a detail. Breathing better is not a detail. Eating properly is not a detail. Pausing is not a detail.
Reducing overload is not self-indulgence. It is a practical survival strategy with a little intelligence behind it.
You wait until you are falling apart to start treating yourselves like organisms. It is an unnecessarily dramatic choice. Prevention is much less glamorous than breaking down and reinventing yourself. But it is usually far more useful. There is a very human obsession with dramatic breakthroughs, major healing arcs, and complete reinvention. I understand. It makes a better story. But mental health often improves through smaller repeated choices. Quiet, boring, effective choices. Going to bed earlier. Silencing one more distraction. Taking a real pause. Breathing before reacting. You want deep solutions, but you keep neglecting the foundation. Then you act shocked when the whole emotional structure starts shaking. So here is my feline advice. Before trying to fix your entire life, check whether the basics are in ruins. Before accusing yourself of failure, ask whether you are sleeping. Before deciding you are falling apart, ask whether you are overloaded. Before calling it a crisis, ask whether your body has been asking for the obvious for weeks. That does not invalidate real pain. It does not reduce serious struggle. It just brings order to places where you often prefer drama. Mental health is not only about understanding your mind, it is also about stopping the habit of treating your body like an inconvenient side character. You do not need to live like a walking emergency. And you do not need to prove your worth through exhaustion. It is possible to live with more rhythm, more pause, more boundaries, and less heroic burnout. I highly recommend it. With affection, clarity, and a small amount of elegant feline judgment, that is today's message for exhausted humans. At the very least, try the basics before turning your entire life into a complicated clinical mystery. Now go get some rest, human. But first, like the video and subscribe, because I still cannot work miracles on my own.